Mr. Dispenser!
Hello everyone, Mr. Dispenser here. People often ask me how I play engineer and also if I could give them some tips and tricks how to become better at the class. And that's exactly the topic of the video today. I hope I can solve some problems in this video by giving you 10 handy tips and tricks for the class so that you have a starting point for the engineer. Please note that these are my ways to play engineer. So if you don't agree with one way or a trick, please let me know. Hope you enjoy the video. But before we start, don't forget to check out my Discord. It's a perfect place to chat with me and fellow Mr. Dispenser fans. Invite link is down in the description below. Let's start. Number 1. Secret exit. The teleporter is the fastest way to get to the front line. This building can single-handedly win matches just by teleporting your allies to the battle. So be aware, the enemy team is hunting for it. My first tip therefore is that you hide the teleporter. For example, these bushes on Upward or these flowers on Moss Rock really help to disguise your building. Don't forget, the teleporter is immensely powerful, so you need to keep it alive as long as possible. So if you hide it, not only your teleporter will be safe, but also your team. Number 2. Level 3 is not needed right now. Level 3 are obviously the strongest, best and most powerful form of the building. But what if I tell you, you don't need the level 3 version of the building 100% of the time? Sometimes you have to switch your focus as an engineer. You need to repair some buildings, or maybe you have to kill a pesky spy that annoys you, or you need to upgrade another building right now. Engineers always try to frantically upgrade their buildings to level 3. But to be honest, a level 2 sentry has the same firing rate as a level 3. You just don't have the rocket. A level 2 dispenser still gives you health and ammo. And a level 2 teleporter still brings the teammates relatively quick to the front line. So my tip here is very simple. Upgrade your buildings when you have time for it. Because every level of a building still does a relatively good job at supporting or defending your team. Also, if you're curious, this is the way how you should upgrade your buildings. Number 3. Weapons arsenal. This is just a very simple advice, I would say. Just try out different weapons. There are so many ways to play engineer and you may prefer maybe something different. I, for example, enjoy battle engineer more than level 3 sentries. Or there might be someone who enjoys the panic attack more than a stock shotgun. Just try out different weapons and weapon combinations. At the end of the day, you may find your preferred playstyle. Number 4. Space for your buildings. Demoman and Soldier often don't hit your buildings directly. They rely on the splash damage that the rockets and pipes do. To counter that mechanic, you should consider putting the gun or dispenser not too near to a wall or other structure. The enemy just has to spam in your direction and will still hit your building because it's way too near at the structure. So my tip here is just simply place your building a bit more in the open. Not too far, but just a bit to avoid the maximum splash damage. Also bonus advice, if you have more engineers on your team, stacking buildings on the same place has the same effect. Try to avoid building next to each other. Number 5. Don't give up. Losing buildings is something that every engineer has to face at some point. This is another easy advice, but just don't give up. Buildings are not here to last. They are here to hold the enemy for some time, just like an obstacle. And if one goes down, it has done its job. Maybe it cancelled an Uber, killed a few guys, or it just took some time away from the enemy. Your building has done your job, and you can recall from the fight and rebuild in a different spot, and therefore create a new obstacle for the enemies to overcome. So just remember, engineers don't give up. Number 6. Dispensers Decision. Did you know that the dispenser is a supporting building? Not only for you, but for the whole team. Therefore, it's very important that you and your dispenser are in a place where people can reach it. Don't keep the dispenser for you alone. The best way to help your team is by placing the dispenser not right into the fight and not outside of the fight, but in between. What I mean by that is that you need to place the dispenser somewhere where your team can withdraw to and immediately rejoin the fight again. With this technique you can help your team the right way. Number 7. know your Ammopacks. Okay, this simply comes with game knowledge, but you really have to know where all the Ammopacks lie on a map. Engineer needs metal, so it's nice to know where you find it, especially when your buildings get destroyed. Yeah, what else to say? There's not much to say here, just good to find a place to recover to. Number 8. Try to stay in motion. This trick is more for defending against spies. Too often have I seen engineers just standing still and upgrading their buildings like that. And too often have I seen these engineers getting backstabbed. You should not do that. Try to move while upgrading. One technique that I always use is simply rotating around my building. I try to stay in motion in between every swing of my wrench. It makes the spy's life way more harder and you're more safe from getting backstabbed. Number 9. Helping hand. Many newer engineers don't know that you can remove sappers, upgrade and repair buildings of fellow engineers. So my advice here is just do it. I know it's not that big of a deal, but when I was a beginner engineer, I almost always forgot that you can do that. So here's a little reminder that you can help your teammates out. And as a team, you're always stronger. Number 10. Moving is an option. Okay, my last advice is also known by many, I would say, but still. You can pick up buildings in TF2. Did you know that? Engineers build obstacles, as I already told you. You should build and place these where they are most powerful. If a spot is no longer effective, move your buildings to a different spot. Engineers often slip into a passive state when they are too far away and not contributing as much as they could. It might sound like it's not much, but relocating your buildings may come to a surprise for the enemy and might catch them off guard. So that were 10 handy tips and tricks for the engineer class. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to check out Discord and I wish you a wonderful day. The last thing to say now is Mr. Dispenser out.